guys, thanks for joining me. In today's video I'm excited to share with you one of my favorite little attractor nymph patterns. This one's called the Prince Nymph. I'm going to be using Togens barbless hooks. This is a 60-degree jig hook in size 12. And then to that, Togens tungsten jig off beads. This is size 1/8 in gold. I'm going to be using Semperfli's new synthetic peacock herl. This is beautiful stuff. This color is black peacock in 2mm. And then for the tail and wings on this one, I'm going to be using Semperfli's natural range goose biots in brown and white. And then wrap up some hackle. This is Metz number 2. This is a natural brown color. For the rib, we're going to use Uni Mylar. This is number 16 size in gold and silver. And my thread is going to be Nano Silk 30 denier in white. And then for the collar, Semperfli's new Nano Silk 200 denier. This is streamer red, really cool fluorescent, vibrant hot spot on this Prince Nymph. So this Prince Nymph pattern is just a beautiful little searching pattern. It's like an attractor type nymph. Doesn't really represent anything specifically, but it represents a lot of things as well. And gives the trout some good flash. So if you're not sure what the trout are feeding on, throw this on. Chances are you're going to get a decent sized trout, and then you can take a throat sample and key in the trout's diet from there. These jig off beads that I'm using are head turner beads or balanced beads. They have one side of them that's concaved, and so I like putting that side closest to the eye of the hook. Makes it hang really nice and horizontal in the water, so you can fish this pattern under an indicator. Here I'm just starting out getting a good thread wrap base, and then I'm going to add my 2 goose biots. These are Semperfli goose biots that are brown in color. And a little trick you can do is have them on top of each other and then fold one at a 45 degree, secure the bottom goose biot, and then secure the top one, and it spreads them out nice and evenly. I always like using these Dr. Slick razor scissors. These are my go-to scissors. They make an arrow point, they make a standard scissor, and then they make a hair scissor as well. Just beautiful stuff. You can adjust the tension on them from very precise materials like CDC all the way up to synthetics. Super sharp stuff from Dr. Slick. And here I've added my rib of Uni Mylar. You want to tie that in so the gold side is facing the hook, silver side out, and then when you wrap it, that gold's gonna be on the exterior, which is what you want. And this material is the game-changing material. This is Semperfli's new synthetic peacock herl. So this stuff, it comes in 3 different colors, 2 different sizes. So you've got black peacock, green peacock, blue peacock, and they're in 2mm and 4mm. And it's got a really cool turquoise fibers to it. It's got some copper fibers in there. Looks really buggy. It's going to stand out and bring this classic Prince Nymph pattern to new heights here. And then here, you just want to wrap that synthetic material up with a little bit of a taper. So start thin near the tail of this fly, and then you can have some overlapping wraps to build up a little bit of that thorax. You can also tie this fly just with a standard bead and use some different retrieves if you're not going to fish it under an indicator. Or I've even tied it without any beads. You can do a little lead wrap underneath, or just unweighted with a nice thread head, and then you can use your different sink rate fly lines to get this fly exactly in the water column that you think the fish are feeding in. And then when you wrap that Uni Mylar up the shank of this fly, you want to make sure that you get evenly spaced wraps, maybe about 4 or 5. That looks pretty good like that. And then tying in your hackle, you want to strip back those fibers, just stroke them back, and then nip the tip so that you have a little bit of an anchor tie-in point. And then I've got that secured with wraps both behind and in front. And here you don't want to get too crazy with your hackle. Maybe give it 2 2.5 turns. Totally depends on how buggy you want this to be. And then I like to go in after the fact and trim away some of those fibers here. Just get it secured in with thread wraps in behind and in front. If you nip a few of those fibers on the underside, that's okay. That's what we're going to do anyway, because we're going to add some white goose biots to represent the wings on top. So you want to make sure that those are laying down fairly flat to this fly. And grab just 2 of these Semperfli white goose biots. And here you can just tie them in to begin with. Get a couple of wraps in there, cinch it in nice, and then with these biots, the way that the jig hook is orientated, you can split them around the eye of the hook, and it creates a nice 45-degree sort of offset wing. And then just go ahead, secure that thread in front and behind, and give it a good whip finish. And at this point, you're good to trim that 30 denier nano silk out of the way. And here we go. This is the sweet stuff. Semperfli's new 200 denier streamer red nano silk. They've got a variety of good colors. This stuff's been redesigned so it has 0% dye bleed. So it's an incredible technology that they're using where they actually incorporate the dye into the thread material itself. It's not just applied to the thread. I don't know how they do it, but this dye will not bleed. It will not rub off. It will not fade. It's beautiful stuff to work with. So here we've just created a nice little hot spot. It wraps really flat as well, so it's good stuff to work with. Trim that away. This thing is looking beautiful. If you want, you can add a little bit of UV resin to that hot spot collar. Make sure that it doesn't come unraveled. And there you have it, the balanced Prince Nymph. Hope you guys learned a tip or two during that video. I want to thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you on the waters.